Start it.
Wow, dude.
Yes.
It was a G.I. Jane joke.
Keep my wife's name out your mouth.
It's what it is it's a display of entitlement.
I applaud Chris Rock for recovering, keeping the show moving. It was an incredibly dignified response. I'll say this, Will Smith can't take a joke. Chris Rock can take a punch.
I was sickened by the standing ovation. I felt like Hollywood is just spineless, en masse. It really felt like, oh, this is a really clear indication that we're not the cool club anymore.
We were all sickened. And these guys gave him a standing ovation. Everything he said was accurate.
Yeah, he's like, I was sickened by the standing ovation. I felt like Hollywood is just spineless en masse. I feel like, oh, this is really clear indication of that we're not the cool club anymore, Jim Carrey said when asked.
I didn't understand that last line, but I agree with it. I didn't know how that connected, but he's right.
And then he said, I would have announced this morning that I will be suing Will for $200 million. Because that video is going to be there forever. It's going to be ubiquitous. That insult is going to last a very long time.
This is a great
point.
point.
That's facts right there.
That's a great point.
Like, this is going to be memed. It's going to be gift. Everything he ever does in his life is going to come back to this.
It's a very powerful, very wealthy, influential star who just decided, yeah, I didn't like that. I'm going to smack you. And then gets to sit down, collect his award, get a round of applause, enjoy his night. It's insane.
Jada, love you. G.I. Jane 2, can't wait to see it. Wow. Keep my wife's name out your frickin' mouth.
It was just a G.I. Jane joke.
Keep my wife's name out your frickin' mouth. Okay, I will.
Even though you might see Will Smith just sticking up for his wife, he literally committed assault and should have ended up in a cop car that night. But Chris Rock decided not to press charges. Someone that many people looked up to as a hero is now deemed a villain. What Will Smith did was not right. He committed a crime. As Christians, we don't go around slapping people just because they say something that is rude or that insults us. Jesus teaches us that when someone slaps you on the cheek, you give them the other cheek. That basically means that you don't do the wrong thing because someone else did something wrong. Will Smith was affected by Chris Rock's comment about his wife, and he retaliated instead of ignoring the joke. On the other hand, when Chris Rock received a slap, he didn't retaliate, he just laughed it off. In 2020, Will Smith was seen as somebody that many people preferred when it came down to actors. 80% of people said they had a positive view on Will Smith in 2020. Then, in 2022, after his actions at the Oscars, that percentage of people that liked him dropped all the way down to 51%. Many people saw Will Smith differently after he slapped Chris Rock.
Now, if there's one thing that could be taken away from this whole situation, it would probably have to be Chris Rock's bravery. I mean, taking a slap to the face by Will Smith in a room full of celebrities with the millions of people watching, yeah, Chris Rock is one tough cookie. And for those of you who don't know, Chris Rock's G.I. Jane joke was directed towards Jada Smith's bald, shiny head. And the reason she wasn't very fond of this is because apparently she had alopecia. Now, I'm not saying it was the funniest or the nicest joke ever, but when you're sitting in the front row of the Oscars, when Chris Rock is going around picking on people and you expect not to get picked on, I mean, like, what? And the worst part of it all is that Chris Rock had to take it. He had to take the slap and take the embarrassment. I mean, you kind of feel bad for the guy. He just tried to make a harmless joke that turned out not so harmless. And after he got slapped and did nothing, people called him Will Smith. That's enough of my thoughts. Let's hear what other people have to say.
think Will Smith was in the right to slap Chris Rock?
No, not at all. I think after the Oscars, Will Smith should have went up to Chris Rock personally and confronted him of his actions.
I agree with that.
Did you think Will Smith was in the right to slap Chris Rock?
No, not at all.
Why not?
Because well, maybe he was a bit. I have to change my mind on that because he was protecting his wife, his honor. But that's really what it was. But
Do you think Chris Rock handled it in the best way possible?
I think he did, honestly. He didn't say much. The only thing I would say is that he shouldn't have said it was just a G.I. Jane joke. I think that just added it. He should have kept quiet there.
Great response.
So, do you think Chris Rock handled it in the best way possible?
no, not really, because he looked kind of shocked. He was
shocked?
caught out of character. He didn't know how to handle it. He could have said another joke to kind of relieve it, but he didn't do
Yeah,
that.
no, it was very humiliating.
Yeah.
I think they should have kicked Will Smith out of the Oscars after he slapped Chris Rock.
No, I don't think so. Like, he was invited there. He did win an Oscar that night. He was there for a reason. I think, no, because just like one incident doesn't make up for like what he's done in his whole acting career.
Interesting.
Should they have kicked Will Smith out of the Oscars after he slapped Chris Rock?
No, although that would have been too extreme, I would think.
Too far?
Yeah, because he defended his wife. I mean, why would you kick him out? But I guess because of the slap, it made it extreme. But I don't think he should have been kicked out.
Taking away Will Smith's Oscar?
No, I don't think so. Like I said before, he was there for a reason. He had a great acting performance in whatever movie he played in, I'm pretty sure. And he won it, but I don't think they should have taken it away for what he did on stage.
I agree with that. He's had such an amazing career.
Should they have taken away Will Smith's speech or even not allowed him to get the Oscar?
I think they should have canceled his speech, but he should have got the Oscar because that was based on the award of what his acting. So that's what I think. So I was coming. You get the award, but not the speech because he doesn't deserve to be recognized for that. So kind of a compromise. That's what I would have done.
Okay.
Do you think they should have allowed Will Smith to give his Oscar-winning speech?
I think so. He put in a lot of hard work and dedication to be up on that stage, to win that Oscar, and to make that speech. Probably practice it 1,000 times in the mirror. I don't see why they wouldn't.
I agree with that. I agree with that. There's a lot of hard work that goes into his everyday and his acting career.
Very interesting. It seems that the older generation and the younger generation have different takes on the issue. Well, they both grew up in a different world, so no wonder their values and opinions on certain topics are different. Alrighty. Time for what you've all been waiting for. Time for Will Smith to slowly walk up on stage and slap the hell out of Chris Rock. Enjoy.
Y'all got to see it. It's really good. You know who's got the hardest job tonight? Javier Bardem and his wife are both nominated. Now, if she loses, he can't win. He is praying that Will Smith wins. Like, please, Lord. Jada, I love you. G.I. Jane 2, can't wait to see it. All right? That was a nice one. Okay. I'm out here. Richard.
It was at this moment that he knew. He f***ed up.
Oh, wow. Wow. Will Smith just smacked out of me.
Keep my wife's name out your mouth.
Wow, dude.
Yes.
It was a G.I. Jane joke.
Keep my wife's name out your mouth.
I'm going to, okay? Okay. That was a greatest night in the history of television. Okay. Okay.
Well, I hope you enjoyed because Chris Rock sure as hell didn't. But if there's one thing we could take away from this, that would have to be, you know what? I'm going to let somebody else tell you.
Hey kids, it's me, Will Smith, and I'm just here to give you a friendly reminder to keep my wife's name out your mouth. Got it? Because if you don't, I'll hunt you down and slap you.
Uh-oh, Richard.